I saw on TV the other day that cop, and I'm not defending anything that Derek Chauvin done, but it came out, the autopsy, there was a fentanyl overdose that killed George Floyd, okay? And this guy was a second-degree murder conviction on that. Do you think something will happen in that case?
No, because there's too strong a public sentiment.
No, there you go.
By what's right. By what's right, and legally, factually, legally, something should happen. I mean, if there's a fentanyl, then look, I'm not, like you said, I'm not saying he should escape culpability.
Right.
But certainly, at a minimum, he should get a new trial in order to present the fentanyl defense. I mean, that's a strong mitigator. I think that, if his actions certainly facilitated things, but maybe that's a manslaughter conviction, not murder, which would bring a lesser of a sentence. But I think that there's such a strong public sentiment. I mean, he's really a hated defendant, and while that really shouldn't matter, the unfortunate reality is, public sentiment often does sway what goes on in the court. So I think certainly an effort should still be made.
Right. You said the mob rule. I mean, we don't. Justice is supposed to be blind, right?
Yeah, but sometimes it acts like it's blind, as in it doesn't. It can't see the right thing to do. It can't quite seem to find the right path. I mean, look, I was convicted, even though the DNA didn't match me, and then they wouldn't allow me they upheld that, and also wouldn't allow me to get further testing, and when I finally was given the testing, then but Pickles makes a nice point here. High profile defendants never get a reasonable break.
Right.
And I know that we're not even really talking about a break, though, either. Given what you mentioned, I mean, look, certainly the cause of death is extremely relevant in a murder case. How could it not be? How can it not be relevant? But high profile defendants, often don't get fair trials either. And I do think that cops getting away with all this brutality and unjustifiable deadly police force, getting caught on tape and getting away with it, that's happened so many times.
The other way,
that there's the instinct, that this has got to be a guilty verdict this time before you even really assess the facts and the law on the particular matters. So, I think that there was a little bit of that at play. And again, I'm not saying he should definitely pay a stiff penalty for sure.
Yeah. Well, he's been in prison 3 years.
Yeah, I know, but that's not a lot of time considering he kept his,
for manslaughter.
Right. Yeah. No. He had his knee on the neck. There's no way you can justify, doing that. Yeah. But again, if there's fentanyl at play, then there's fentanyl at play. You can't pretend that it's not. So working on those things, nice article came out in the Journal News, which is a daily newspaper in Westchester County, New York, and in Rockland, which is our suburbs. Case we're working on, Amir Zeta. We just filed post-conviction motion, and we have a lot of new evidence that wasn't known, wasn't considered before, found some witnesses that had been withheld from the defense. And, the cops had lied on the stand in his trial, and they claimed that so there was a shop owner that had his own legal problems, and he claimed that he sold a knife to the defendant. And that's the only thing tying the knife to the defendant.
Oh, man.
And the officers were asked on the stand, well, did you go to the Bronx Terminal Market to make sure that this knife actually was sold at this store? And the cop claimed no. But we've discovered since then that he did go there and check it out, and he found out that type of knife was not sold there. So, so there's that evidence. And, there were some other witnesses who were near where this crime was supposed to have happened that never never heard anything. So that's been filed. We're hoping that the Rockland District Attorney will concede that our client deserves another trial rather than fighting us on this one. He ran on a wrongful conviction prevention and correction plank, but if he's going to oppose despite all this, I mean, look, in terms of the knife, not to barrel down into too many of the weeds, but this knife, they searched him. They rear cuffed him. They put him in the police car. They looked in the back of the police car. They took him out. They found no knife. And 2 days later, they searched the car again and claimed they found the knife. And they said that he took the knife out of the back of his pants and dropped it there, even though his hands were handcuffed.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't make any sense. Then when you think about, where the knife origin and the informant, and then he had, his story, our client claims, and we believe that if he saw the victim injured, he went over there to assist, and that's when the cops came. They're trying to say he was on top of he was on top of her, but there's no blood. There's no blood spatter. There's no blood spatter. If you stab somebody, you're going to get blood spatter, right? I mean, on a common sense level, but there's not.
Yeah, so a lot of good has come out of these horrible cases where police are, over the top and making stuff up. Not just the police cameras. I'm watching videos over the last 2 years since the George Floyd stuff happened, where you'll see one cop get out of control and start assaulting the person, just hitting them for no reason, and the other cops pulling that person off. I saw more than one video. They're starting to realize, hey, look, you got to be accountable too,